Hi, it's Stephanie, No Bad Days Girl. Thank you for joining me for yet another segment of how to love your life every day and have no bad days. Today, I want to talk to you about how I love my life even when I have problems. People come to me and they'll say, Stephanie, how can you say you have no bad days? Like, I have real problems. And if you had my problems, you would understand. And I do have problems. I have problems and I do understand. And I used to feel the same way. Like, how can you try to love your life through your problems? And, I found that I'm going to have those problems regardless. So I'm going to get up, I'm going to get dressed, I'm going to go to work, I'm going to come home, I'm going to cook dinner, I'm going to do all those things regardless of whether I have problems or not. So I might as well choose to love my life even during my problems. And I have a choice. I have a choice today, and I can choose to have no bad days, regardless of what I'm going through. I've had real problems. I had to have my hip replaced this year during a pandemic. And that's fear. That's fear of pain. That's fear of finances. It's fear of going through surgery alone. My mom had cancer a couple years ago. I had a lump in my breast many years ago that had to be removed, and we weren't sure what it was until it was removed. I've been through fear. People have real problems, and I get that. I get that. People have real problems, but you can still enjoy your life during your problems. And but what I'm talking about is I'm talking about normal everyday problems, like my spouse or my husband or my kid or my boss are driving me crazy. We all have that. We all have that. And we can let it ruin our day. I mean, I've done it. I get it. I know. But I've learned how to not do that anymore. And I want to share what I've learned with you to hopefully help you to have no bad days. So, what I learned was that I probably don't want other people's problems. Like, as much as I don't want my own, I'm pretty sure I don't want yours. So there's a story. I love this story. A lot of people don't love this story, but I'm going to tell it anyhow because I really love this story. And it's, this lady, and she has this cross, this big, huge cross on her back. And she's been carrying it for a really long time. She carried this cross everywhere she goes for a really long time. And it's really, really heavy. And it's starting to get to be too much for her to bear. So she carries it all the way to the cross store, and she goes inside the cross store, and the lady says, welcome to the cross store. You can sit your cross over there and choose a new one. And she said, oh, we have pretty pink ones, we have baby blue ones, and you can pick any one you want and just leave yours behind and take a new one. And she looked all through all the crosses and she picked up hers and she left because she knew how to deal with her problem. She knew the weight. She knew how to bear. And a lot of people have problems that that they couldn't deal with my problems and I couldn't deal with their problems. And that's okay. It's that you get to choose how you feel during. You know, Another thing I realized was most of my problems have to do with fear. Fear of like not getting my way, fear of losing control, fear of losing my independence. It's all fear. Finances and romance and finance, number one problems. Romance and finance. If only he would, if only she would, if only they would, if he wouldn't leave his socks on the floor, if he wouldn't snore, all these things, that's control. That's all about control. If only he would do it the way I want him to do it, right? If only he would cut the grass when I want him to cut the grass. And I learned that, you know, if I don't want him, somebody else does. There is somebody out there praying for everything that I want, and I'm complaining about it. And I don't have to do that. So, for instance, I heard a talk once, and the person was saying, if you don't want your husband, there's a lot of people out there that do. Smelly feet, snoring and all. There's a lot of people out there that are eating dinner alone and putting up their Christmas tree alone, and they would love to take your spouse, problems and all. And it goes the other way around. Your spouse probably doesn't love everything that you do either. And I heard once that the grass is always greener on the other side, and that's because they water it. A lot of times we just need to do the work in order to get through what we're going through so we can get to the other side. And when we get to the other side, there's so much reward and rejoice. And we can enjoy getting to the other side while we're going through it. We had a friend, she had cancer, and God bless her, she used to say, I wouldn't wish this on anybody. I'm glad it's me. I don't know that I would have that same reaction, but I learned a lot from it. I learned a lot. I learned that I get to choose how I'm going to go through what I'm going to go through. And probably don't have a lot of choice about what I'm going to go through, but I get to choose how I'm going to go through it. And, I used to have this really big fear of losing my teeth. And for years, I was so afraid I was going to lose my teeth. You know what? I'm going to lose my teeth. Everybody's going to lose their teeth. I'm a human. But it's been 12 years. And I haven't lost them yet. And I was so afraid. And the reason I was so afraid of it was because it was going to cost me money that I didn't have to replace them. So I had all this fear, and it never happened. Fear is false evidence appearing real. Half the time, the things that we're so afraid of never even happened. I have a friend that says, I worry because that's what I do. I just worry. But you know what? You don't have to. You do have a choice. It's all about thinking. It's all about retraining our brains. And it's not going to happen overnight. It takes time. It's like really slow process, but you can celebrate the victories along the way and retrain your brain, get more childlike. I didn't have fear of finance. I didn't have fear of romance. I didn't have fear of scheduling. I didn't have fear of having a job or how my boss was going to like me or not. I didn't have any of those fears when I was a child. So much of what we need to get back to is back to being more childlike. And I haven't really talked about this a lot, but faith really helps with that. And so, I really believe in faith, and I really believe in hope, and I really believe that it's all about the way we think and the way we process and the way we just go through our life and the choices that we get to make. So I hope that you enjoyed my talk today, and I hope that you'll subscribe, and I really appreciate you joining me, and I hope that you'll realize that your problems are yours and you probably don't want anyone else's, and hopefully that'll help you to be able to have no bad days. Thank you. Bye.